Dear students, I hope you are enjoying organic chemistry. Today, let's learn how to distinguish between aromatic and non-aromatic compounds. With the discovery of benzene, there was a lot of interest in the cyclic and pi electron stabilized compounds, but not all of them are aromatic. Haeckel's rule made it easy to distinguish between such compounds. In 1931, a German scientist called Erich Haeckel gave this important rule about aromaticity, and this rule is still valid today. Of course, before applying Haeckel's rule, one must consider several other criteria for aromaticity, but the Haeckel rule mentions that annulenes which are having 4n plus 2 pi electrons are aromatic, where n is any integer as it can be 0, 1, 2 or 3. If n is 0, then as per Haeckel's rule, the calculation of pi electrons comes as 4 into 0, that is 0. Answer is only 2. If n is 1, then 4 into 1, that is 4 plus 2, 6 electrons. If n is 2, then 4 into 2, 8 plus 2, that is 10 electrons. So any such compound which satisfies some other criteria of aromaticity along with Haeckel's rule are called as aromatic. Whereas annulenes which are containing only 4n electrons, that is multiples of 4 electrons, 4, 8, 12, 16 or 20 are called as anti-aromatic compounds and they behave like alkenes. Those compounds which possess 4n plus 2 pi electrons behave like benzene and they are called as aromatic. There is also another terminology called non-aromatics which is applicable to every other compound which is not aromatic, means which is not satisfying this Haeckel's rule. It will also cover anti-aromatic compounds because they are not aromatic. So what are the other rules? Whenever any structure comes in front of you, you need to first see whether that structure is cyclic, whether that structure is planar. In case of benzene, we have seen all the carbons and hydrogens lie in one plane. There is no atom lying above or below the plane. On the two dimension, one can show the atoms lying above the plane as a dark wedge-shaped bonds or atoms lying below the plane or behind the plane by dotted bonds. So if your structure appears just with the simple dashed bonds without any dotted or dark sides, you can say on a two dimension that compound is planar. Thirdly, the compound must have conjugated electrons. Technically, the term conjugated means every atom should have p orbitals. We have seen in case of benzene, every carbon atom contains p orbitals having one electron. Practically, you can check whether the compound is conjugated by seeing whether there are alternate single and double bonds. Lastly, if you satisfy the criteria that a structure is cyclic, planar as well as conjugated and it obeys the Haeckel's rule, that is number of electrons come as either 2, 6, 10 or 14 and so on, then that compound can be said as aromatic, that will behave like benzene. Such compounds, the name aromatic has been derived by the term aroma, which means characteristic smell. So such compounds possess characteristic smell. They are usually lighter than water and because their non-polar nature, they are immiscible with water. Even they are flammable and benzene itself is carcinogen, so their use has to be restricted and controlled. Now why only this 246 type of electrons? If you look at the molecular orbital diagram of benzene, it consists of few bonding orbitals and few anti-bonding orbitals. Antibonding orbitals will only be used in the excited state when electron receives some energy to get transition from the ground state to excited state. Till now, for the intact molecule, you can only focus on the bonding orbitals. So in case of benzene, there are 2 electrons in the first level and there are 4 electrons in the second level. So this 2 plus 4 makes it 6 for benzene, and all the higher derivatives of benzene should contain 4 electrons in each level. That is why Huckel's rule has been defined as 2 plus 4 and addition of again 4 electrons for every level. Let's look at the annulyns. Annulyns are nothing but monocyclic hydrocarbons that contain maximum number of non-cumulated double bonds. Non-cumulated means conjugated. Double bonds are alternate with single bonds. If you look at cyclobutadiene, because it contains 2 pi bonds, so there are 4 pi electrons, it is called as 4-annulin. Benzene, you know it is cyclohexatriene, so it contains 3 double bonds, 6 electrons, so it is called as 6-annulin. Likewise, we have 8-annulin, 10-annulin, 12-annulin, 14-annulin, and even higher derivatives. If you try to apply Huckel's rule to this kind of compounds, you can see all of them are cyclic, all of them are planar, even bonds are conjugated, they are alternate, and then test every compound whether they satisfy Huckel's rule or not. So in case of cyclobutadiene, they contain 4 electrons. As per Huckel's rule, we should either have 2, 6, 10, 14 electrons. So cyclobutadiene is not aromatic. Similarly, cyclooctatetraene is not aromatic. Similarly, 12-annulin is not aromatic. 16-annulin and 18-annulin. We have example of porphyrin. Porphyrin is present in the blood, in the hemoglobin complexed with iron, giving it red color. It is also found in the chlorophylls as complexed with magnesium, giving it green color. In case of porphyrin, because there is introduction of the heteroatoms, the simple calculation of pi electrons will not work in this case. You need to consider non-bonded lone pair of electrons on the nitrogen, and even they are not available every time. So in case of heteroaromatics, the rule becomes somewhat complicated and every atom must be considered along with its lone pair. But because porphyrin, the blue highlighted portion, is similar to the 18-annulin, it is aromatic. When benzene ring is fused with another benzene ring, we get naphthalene. 3 benzene rings gives us anthracene. Is if out of anthracene one ring is made ortho or attached in the angular way to the remaining 2 rings, we get phenanthrene, and that phenanthrene is used in the dyes, plastics, pesticides, explosives, bile acids, cholesterol and steroidal synthesis. Even anthracene finds its use in synthesis of a dye alizarin, wood preservatives, insecticides, coating materials. Similarly, we have another uh, compounds derived from fused benzenes. We have chrysene, pyrene, coranulin, coronin, tetracene, benzanthracene. These all are aromatic. There is a special class of helicins which are used as organic catalysts as well as in the chirality sensing. They are also available as chemical sensors. So depending upon how many rings are joined ortho to each other, they are termed as, if 4 rings then 4 helicin, if 5 rings then 5 helicin, 6 rings hexahelicin, but remember, they are not joined. These are few other compounds which are important with respect to GPAT point of view or any other competitive exams. You can pause the video and note down the structures and see whether these compounds are aromatic or not. These are a few more other examples important for competitive exams. Benzene rings and even other cyclic rings have also been tried to join in the spherical manner. So because they resemble to the footballs, they are called as buckyballs, or the common name is fullerenes. They are identified by the number of carbon atoms. So we can have a C60 fullerene or C70 fullerene, which are attaching all the cyclic rings further in the spherical format. Such compounds have been utilized as antimicrobial, anti-tumor agents, but in case of them, Haeckel's rule is slightly modified to make it 2 n plus 1 bracket square, where n should be any integer, and it will account for spherical aromaticity. Lastly, I would like to show you the largest organic compound till today. This particular porphyrin wheel is reported in January 2020 by one group of researchers from Oxford University, and this compound is having similarity to a wheel of a bicycle. That's why it has been named as wheel. It contains benzene at the center as well as in some of the spikes, but it is also making use of few other heterocyclic rings like pyridine, and there are porphyrin rings around the periphery. And still this compound obeys Haeckel's rule. So till today, this giant wheel containing 162 pi electrons is satisfying Haeckel rule is a beautiful example of this concept. I hope you find this interesting. Any queries are welcome in the comments. Keep learning, stay happy, stay tuned. Thank you. In the next video, we will see how to name different benzene derivatives, monosubstituted, disubstituted and trisubstituted derivatives, what are their common names and how to name them according to IUPAC. Till then, have a good time. Bye.